Welcome friends to this afternoon session of this one-day event we have once a month. I'd like to take up a few questions that have been sent in writing from the audience. And Jonathan Rapkin, President of Ishwar, will read them out. You are free to ask any questions during these sessions with me. Or if you have no question, you are free to send any answers. Or any comments?
I often hear my fellow seekers after truth talk about lower life forms as having group souls. Is there any truth to this?
I often hear my fellow seekers after truth talk about lower life forms as having group souls. Is there any truth to this? No. There is no such thing as a group soul. Soul is an individuated form of consciousness, surviving and living and creating in its own totality. The experience of individualization, the experience of individuation that consciousness experiences is unique. And that's not mixed up at all, at any time. Though the experiences may create groups, but they are experiences, not the experiencer. There is no such thing as a group experiencer. There is no such thing as several selves. There is only one self. Only one self creating the experience of the many. That's an experience, not a division of the self into the many. It looks like the many because that's a creation. So there is the individual soul who is actually the totality of consciousness, experiences the many within itself in order to experience one of its essential natures, which is experience of love. To experience that, the many are created within the one. And then they are given other forms like covering up with the mind to create space and time and cause and effect and karma and all that. Then they are covered with sense perceptions to divide perception and make it more interesting. And then they covered with the physical bodies or physical forms or non-physical forms. Life exists in many forms. But the soul remains one single self.
When one sees that everything is an illusion, that nothing is real, not GM, not Sachkhand, nothing, what is there to believe in, to have faith in?
When one sees that everything is an illusion, that nothing is real, not GM, not Sachkhand, nothing. What is there to believe in, to have faith in? Nothing. Obviously. If nothing is real, why do you want belief and faith then, in that case? If nothing is real, we don't need any faith or belief. The truth of our experience is exactly the opposite of this. The truth is, this is real, where we are sitting here. The truth is, we never experience illusion, we experience reality. That the process of illusion of a very high quality is being used by consciousness to generate experiences which are real. This world is real. I can see this as real, I can see flowers real, I can drink my water, it tastes absolutely real. Proof of the pudding lies in its eating. Therefore, it is erroneous to say that nothing is real. Everything is real. The only consciousness did not go out to create illusions. It went out to create realities. This is one reality. It's not the only reality. When we are confined to this reality, we think it's the only reality. The fact that more realities exist can be experienced through going through a process available to human beings in this reality to have experience of other realities. But they're all realities, because when we experience them, they're real. As real as this one we are experiencing now. Shakespeare said, "There never yet was philosopher who could bear the toothache patiently." That a philosopher can philosophize, it's unreal illusion, and go to the dental chair and he cries as a reality. Some mystics have said the only thing that makes this creation real is pain. When you get pain, it's real. The rest you can question. But pain is real. And therefore, we have, through consciousness, not created illusions. We have created realities. The process by which it has been created did not require building blocks outside of ourselves. The building blocks were parts of consciousness that generated the experience of reality. But we did not set out to create illusions. So this is real now. You sleep, have a dream. During the dream is real. You can't say in a dream, it's not real. Sometimes people say that. I know people have had dreams, I have had dreams, where I told everybody, you know, I know it's a dream. If I really knew it's a dream, who are those people I'm telling? When I wake up, none of them exist. So even when we are telling the truth, we are telling the truth thinking that we are talking to reality. If I were to believe that this is all unreal, would I waste my time talking to you? I am talking to you because you are real. So am I. The reality has been created at a certain level, and this is physical reality. And so long as we are in the physical reality, it's our only reality. Not only its reality, it's our only reality. You can say, Sachkhand is unreal. True home may be unreal because we are not there. Those things are just made up. Yeah? At this time, they can be called unreal. But what is real? We are here sitting and saying these things. We believe we are talking in reality. When we go to these higher levels, we shift our attention and experience from one reality to another. Almost like waking up from a dream. The dream world was real. We didn't know where we were sleeping, who we were. We were the character in the dream. The self assumed that form and had the dream. That was real. Woke up, that became unreal. This became real. You wake up to a higher level of the astral plane, that becomes real, more real, and this becomes a dream. You go to the higher level, that becomes the only reality. All others become dreams. Right up to Par Brahm, beyond the mind, where the individuated soul discovers itself as unit of consciousness, and the forms are all what we thought were our own self. No mind, no senses, no body, and yet we are there as pure consciousness. We discover that, and yet even that is not real, but we think it's real. When we go beyond that into a totality of consciousness and discover even individuation was a cover upon us, created, it's also part of creation. And then we say the totality is real. The experience of totality is never real, no matter where we are. We create realities. There's one big difference between a physical human being who experiences different levels of consciousness and an ordinary human being who experiences totality. The difference is that one, when you are still ascending in order of what looks real, from the physical to the astral to the causal, you destroy all other realities and maintain only one reality. At any one time, there's only one reality. When you reach the top, what we call Sachkhand, a true home, when you reach the top and discover that the entire reality, levels of reality were being created from there, your knowledge becomes total. Your awareness becomes total. You are totally aware of all levels. They are all real and unreal at the same time. And you don't feel one is real and one is not. At every other level, one is real, one is not. So there is a big difference between a seeker who reaches the stage just above the mind, which we call Parbrahm. The individuated consciousness is there. Still, that's the only reality. All others have disappeared. When you go to totality, all are being experienced at the same time, and all can be called real and all can be called unreal. When we talk of perfect living masters who come here, they have attained that state. When they speak to us, they speak in one reality, aware of all other realities. Not that they have to go somewhere to find the reality. Then they go to another level, they are talking there from that level and aware of all the levels. Any seeker Who wants to find that totality and true home will have the same experience, that they can know all the levels at the same time. And then, will you call them all levels illusions? Yes, in a way, because they're created from consciousness. Are they real? Yes, because they have all the elements of reality. What are the elements of reality for us? As I mentioned earlier, the tree is real because we can use our five senses to confirm it is real. This happens at every level of awareness and consciousness. You use different perceptions that you have at that point, and through those perceptions, you verify one matches the other, must be real. That's a definition of an experience. So, it is not correct to say that we are experiencing illusions. We are experiencing reality. I tell you an interesting event that happened with me. There was a very brilliant dancer in India. She was with Mahatma Gandhi for some time and set up an academy for teaching children dancing. And she invited me once to a performance of their kids and her own performance. And after that, we were having tea in her house. And she said, I would like to know what is the meaning of this phrase in our Indian scriptures, that the entire creation you are watching is Maya, illusion. It doesn't look like illusion. Why do they call it illusion then? And the scripture speaks mithya and Maya. In Sanskrit and Hindi, it means that which is illusion, that which is going to be destroyed, not permanent. Why do they call this creation like that? I said this word is very misunderstood. The word Maya does not mean illusion. The word Maya means that we have not been able to understand what part of our experience is real and what is not at any time. I gave an example. I said, here's a cup of tea. We were having tea. Here's a cup of tea. Let's both taste the tea. This story gave me a chance to have my water. I said, let's have a cup of tea. And when we had a cup of tea, I said, did you taste the tea? Yes. Was it real? Taste of tea, of course. What was your conclusion? That the cup was real, the tea must be real, that is why you tasted tea. Yes, that's Maya. Maya is from a real experience to jump to the conclusion that the object creating that experience is real. It's a very subtle term that you can't say she never had experience of drinking the tea. She had. Real. Experiences are always real. All experiences are real because you have having them. Nobody can question that you had an experience of having a cup of tea. But to jump to the conclusion, which is automatic, that the tea was in a real teacup, tea was real, you tasted it, therefore the cup and the tea are real. Maya explains that the reality of the experience is being transformed into reality of objects, which is not true. Now, same thing we can explain from a dream sequence. You have a cup of tea in a dream, drinking with a friend of yours. You drink the tea and you taste it, it's there. Nobody can deny you had the taste. You can wake up, you still remember you had a taste. The taking of the tea was real. You had the experience. But the teacup does not become real because you had it. You woke up, the taste was real, it's still in your mouth, cup was not there, tea was not there. So this is again an answer to the same question about the materialism and the idealism. And there is the word Maya has been used to describe that all experiences of consciousness are real. But the conclusion that because we have real experiences, the objects that create them, or which are part of the experience, also must be real. And that's where the error is. So, in answer to this question, we don't experience illusions and unreal things. We experience reality, created in different forms. Further, we don't need any belief system or believing in something in order to have these experiences of reality. Reality is being experienced now. Do we have to believe that we are here? It's a direct experience we are having. All experiences are like that. All experiences are real. jumping to the conclusion what is causing the experience, that's where the issue is. Are the objects and people creating the experience, or your consciousness is creating the experience? The answer is, when you go to the top, the answer is consciousness creates all experiences.
When you think meditation is difficult and doesn't show progress, do you think electrical devices that make your brain relax could be useful?
When you think meditation is difficult and doesn't show progress, do you think electrical devices that make your brain relax could be useful? Maybe. It could be. They can relax your mind, you'll go to sleep. That's how relaxation leads to sleep. When we are in a relaxed state, the tendency is to go to sleep. What happens when you go to sleep? Has anybody observed what happens? We are awake as conscious beings, and we are operating in this physical world awake. Where are we operating from? Where are we looking at the world from? In a physical body, from the eyes. The eyes are the windows of our consciousness, and through the eyes we are seeing and doing everything else from the brain here. When we relax, the tendency is for this notional point of the self to drop down. It doesn't remain there. It drops down, and when we are dreaming with rapid eye movements, we're down in the throat. What does that mean? What does it mean to be down in the throat? It means that when you are awake in this physical body, you know in the physical body where your eyes are. Even with closed eyes, you know where the eyes are. You are aware of your body completely. You want to check out where your eyes are. With closed eyes, you can raise your hands and touch them. There they are. I don't have to see my hands to say where my eyes are. Now, supposing I'm relaxed, half asleep, I'm still in the physical body, aware of it, and I want to touch my eyes. I touch my nose, thing under the eyes. You can try. Anybody can try that. At night, before you go to sleep, when you're about to sleep, try to close your eyes and touch your eyes. You touch your nose. The deeper we go into relaxation and sleep, the notional point where we are operating from seems to shift. It shifts downwards. And dreaming is at this stage, very deep sleep when you don't remember any dreams can go even further. And the yogis have practiced the art of withdrawing to the lower stage and relaxing completely through yoga and going to this heart center. But relaxation does not give us the chance to explore who we are. This is a much better state when we are awake to know who we are than in a dream state or relaxed state. That is why we should be alert. If you want to make use of meditation as a means of finding out who you are, better to start as a wakeful state and stay in a wakeful or higher wakeful state. For that, the notional point will shift upwards and not downwards. And this is something that you can watch. After some practice, you can watch where you are. And therefore, using electrical devices to induce relaxation is good for relaxation. Relaxation is good. But my suggestion to you would be, instead of relaxing your brain or your body, when you meditate, and I say, imagine you are behind the eyes, let that body relax, not this one. Keep this body upright, awake, close your eyes, you are another person sitting in the head, moving around. There you sit in the chair, relaxed chair, and relax. But never go down. That relaxation will help, and no electrical charge I know can sustain that relaxation. Practice is the only thing.
This week, NASA finally admitted that the astronauts heard music coming from the dark side of the moon. What say you? This happened when they were orbiting it in 1969.
This week, NASA finally admitted that the astronauts heard music coming from the dark side of the moon. What say you? When they were orbiting in 1969. No, the astronauts said it several other times also. Not only when they were on the dark side of the moon, even otherwise. Several of them heard music, heard sounds occurring in dark space. In dark space, and they say that there was no source of that music. In any case, they could not hear in a completely covered spaceship. The spaceship was insulated from the darkness. So what would be the answer if you are in a completely enclosed case? There's darkness outside and you hear music. Is it coming from the darkness or is it coming from within you? They heard the music from within you. I tell you, you go to a very quiet place, the quietest that you can find, and sit quietly there, you will hear the same music the astronauts heard. Any place you can go. The music is inside us. When we hear, we don't believe it is inside, we try to find out where it's coming from. As a child, I had this problem. I would hear music and I would look out of the window where it's coming from. And nobody else could hear. So I thought I was crazy, that only I am hearing. It was later on I discovered that we all have music going on inside us. And all of us can hear that. Just be quiet. A Persian poet says, Khamosh Panj Nabat, he says that there are, if you can keep quiet, you will hear the 5 sounds that are the creative power of this universe. That means if you keep quiet, keeping quiet does not mean not talking to somebody. Keeping quiet means not even talking to yourself. If you are not involved in thinking about other things and confine yourself to this little cave of your head, you will hear the same music that the astronauts heard. Last question.
Do we go through karma on all 3 planes, or is it all mukh karma?
Do we go through karma on all the 3 planes, or is it all mock karma? I have spoken earlier about karma many times. Basically, karma is working of the mind in a way to cause the creation of cause and effect. The mind, when it creates space and time, it's almost an Einsteinian view, which has been the view of the mystics of the East, that when you create space and time, you put something to create space. Einstein said, if there was no matter, there would be no space. The more matter we put in, the larger the space. Space grows as energy converts to matter, space expands. The same thing is here, that karma is created to create events. And events are created by intention to act. When we intend to act, we create karma. As it happens, the intention to act is a deliberate decision between choices available to a person. So, in order to be able to make a choice between alternatives available, you deliberate. You say this or that, this or that. Okay, this. Karma is created. Supposing you don't have an opportunity to do this, no karma is created. Things happen accidentally all the time around you, no karma is created. You decide using what we call our experience of free will. When we use our free will, karma is created. Karma can be amplified if what we intend to do is actually done. What is the effect of this? The creation of karma means you have created a cause for an effect to follow. We divide our intentions into good intentions and bad intentions. We don't remember the neutral intentions very much, but good and bad we remember. Now when we do good, there's a guilt associated. No, there's a good thing, happiness associated. We've done a good job. When we do evil, bad things, there's a guilt saying this was bad. It is not necessary for somebody else to tell us. We have been indoctrinated by our culture, by our society, and wherever we have grown up. As a human being, in any culture or society, the moral code is imbibed from there. And we, from childhood, are indoctrinated into that moral code, and that's good and bad. When we intend to do something, that intention we classify, was it good or bad? As it happens, the good intentions are not so pleasant or pleasurable. The bad ones seem to be more pleasurable. So we intend to do a lot of bad things which the moral code says are bad. So by saying it's good, we expect to be rewarded, and we are rewarded. By saying it's bad, we are punished, and we are punished later on because we are already expecting to be punished. This is built into the system. This is the basis of the law of karma. This is a mental function. There is no karma on our true self, on the soul. Karma is a creation of the mind, experienced by the mind, and can be experienced in all the three regions: physical, astral, and causal. It can only be created in one region, the physical. Because this is the only region where you have a feeling of true free will, that you make choices. It can be created in one of the 8.4 million forms of life identified in one of the old scriptures in India. So the rest of it is all to pay off karma, to be punished or rewarded. In one lifetime, we can create so much because we are continuously, every day, creating karma in our mind. So we pay off karma in all the three realms, but we create only in one realm, and in one realm, the physical, only when we are a human being. Question hour over?
Almost. One last one.
Is the last one?
Last one.
Okay, extended time.
Did Jonathan make a mistake when he announced the next two community meetings?
Did Jonathan make a mistake when he announced the next two community meetings? Answer, oh, thank you. Answer, why, yes. Yes, he did. The next community meeting is here at Harper College on March 18th. The community meeting at Lake Zurich Library is not until April 15. Thank you, Jonathan, for correcting yourself.
That's the end of questions.
Do you have Prashad today?
Prashad today, yes.
Okay, we are going to distribute Prashad. Once again, I would like to remind you, Prashad is an Indian word we use for blessings, blessed food, which we serve in these meetings. Indian tradition, blessed food means that it is, a prayer is being carried with it, that it will be a remembrance, a reminder to people about their own spiritual path. Prashad, this kind of blessing, does not convert the material form or the food item into a new molecular structure. Especially, it does not become medicine. Some people think that if we are sick, take a little prashad. Instead of, I've got a headache, let me take a little prashad. No, better go in for ibuprofen or Tylenol or something. Prashad is when you take it, you remember who gave it, when, and the whole idea of the spiritual path becomes alive for you. It's just a way of another reminder. We can put a lot of reminders into our life. This is one of the reminders. So that is why this prashad is, what is the prashad? Puffed rice. Puffed rice. It's a copy from what we were used to getting from our master in India. So I am going to invoke the blessings of my master into this prashad and give it to you in his name. And I hope you will remember this occasion when you take a little bit of it every day. It is food. Rice is food. But it's not to be eaten, boiled and taken, something like that, but it is to be taken sparingly, because the longer it lasts, the better for you. The more reminders you have, your little bag. If you run short of it, buy some more of the same stuff from the marketplace, from where they bought, and mix it up. Don't mix at the very end. Mix it up when 1/3 is left. Then shake it up. You will never know which was prasad, which is not. All of it will become prasad. That is how we used to do. We used to have unlimited supply of prasad. Every time it went down, 1/3, mix some more and make it more. Till we could go again to master the events and get fresh one. I was surprised to meet people who are holding prasad from 1945, the original one. I met them in California recently. They are holding the original ones because they did not know the power of dilution. Only homeopaths know that. That when you dilute, when you make it larger but carry the imprint, the molecular imprint of one on the other. A proven fact. In Germany, they proved it. That originally they thought the catalyst in chemical reactions, a catalyst could affect the reaction, carry it out without changing itself. It had a role, but you could pull out the catalyst completely as it was. But in its presence, something happened. What did the molecule of the catalyst do to the other molecules of the reaction? It assisted them in a certain reaction. They always an interchange. Recently, studies have been done to show that water diluted with some solvent, something put in, let's say salt, common salt, sodium chloride. You put common salt in water and stir it, becomes salt water. Now dilute it, take a little bit, put more water, dilute it, more water. Keep on doing it till you cross the Avogadro's number. Avogadro's number is that beyond which there can be no molecule left. Because the number of molecules, you start with the limited. As you dilute with more of the water, at a certain point, which is the 17th level, in most cases in water and salt, it will be the 17th level of diluting by 100 times of the water every time. 17 times you do it, it crosses the Avogadro's number. So there is nothing left. Whatever can be done with the original salted water can be done with that. It has acquired the properties of salt with no salt in it. That means there was a molecular imprint caused on the water, which is still retaining it. This principle is being used for the last 300 years in Germany since Dr. Samuel Hahnemann formed the homeopathic principle that you could dilute and make it more potent. That the diluted form of these substances is better suited for absorption in our cell. The cells are able to pick it up better when completely diluted. He was also surprised that at a certain level where there is no molecule left, it is still functioning the same way. So I am giving an example of how you can dilute your prasad. It will still be effective. Thank you very much for coming and joining me. After prasad, this meeting will be over. The few people who have never seen me before, I'll meet them in my office.